In the heart of a bustling city, amidst the cacophony of honking horns and chattering crowds, a moment unfolded that would challenge perceptions and ignite a spark of hope. A street boy, barely 10, stood at the edge of a busy market, his eyes sharp and observant. As he watched a group of unsuspecting shoppers reach for a seemingly harmless snack, his voice rang out above the noise, "Don't eat that." The startled faces turned toward him, confusion mixing with curiosity. Little did they know, this boy was about to reveal a truth that would resonate far beyond that moment. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the vibrant stalls laden with fresh produce and enticing treats. Yet, beneath this picturesque scene lay a darker reality, one that the boy had come to understand all too well. He had spent years navigating the streets, learning not just to survive but to be acutely aware of the dangers that lurked in the shadows. His warning was not just a cry for attention, it was a plea born from experience, a call to recognize the unseen threats that often accompany the most innocent of choices. As the shoppers hesitated, the boy's heart raced, knowing that his intervention could change the course of their day, or even their lives. The crowd's reaction was a blend of skepticism and concern. Some dismissed him as just another street urchin, while others felt a flicker of doubt. But the boy stood firm, determined to share his knowledge. He gestured toward a nearby stall, where a vendor was hastily packing away goods, his demeanor shifting as he noticed the boy's pointed gaze. The vendor, with a guilty look, quickly tossed a few items into the trash. The boy's instincts had been right. Those snacks were tainted, a danger that could have gone unnoticed. In that fleeting moment, the air shifted, and the shoppers began to see the boy not as a nuisance, but as a guardian of their well-being. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the pavement, the impact of that single shout rippled through the market. Conversations sparked among the crowd, stories of similar encounters shared, and a newfound awareness emerged. The boy, once invisible, became a beacon of vigilance, reminding everyone that sometimes the most profound wisdom comes from the unlikeliest of sources. His courage to speak out not only saved them from potential harm, but also inspired a community to look beyond their immediate circumstances and recognize the voices of those who often go unheard. In the days that followed, the boy's warning echoed in the minds of the shoppers, igniting a movement of awareness and empathy. They began to engage with the street community, fostering connections that bridged the gap between their worlds. The boy, initially just a whisper in the chaos, transformed into a symbol of resilience and hope, proving that even in the most unexpected moments, a single voice can spark change and create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the streets. The sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the bustling streets of the city. Vendors shouted their wares, offering everything from spicy street food to colorful trinkets, while the aroma of grilled meats wafted through the air. Amid the lively chaos, a group of teenagers gathered around a makeshift table, their laughter punctuating the sounds of the evening. Their attention was fixated on a steaming bowl of food that had just been placed before them, a tempting sight for any hungry onlooker. Yet, the atmosphere shifted unexpectedly when a voice broke through the chatter, sharp and urgent. From the shadows of a nearby alley, a street boy, his clothes tattered and face smudged with dirt, emerged with an intensity that caught everyone off guard. His eyes darted between the group and the bowl, a mixture of concern and urgency etched across his young features. "Don't eat that." The laughter faded, replaced by a palpable tension as the teens exchanged confused glances. They had seen the boy around before, a fixture of the neighborhood, but never had he commanded such attention. The street was alive with the sound of distant traffic, but in that moment, it felt as if time had frozen, all eyes on the boy who dared to disrupt their carefree evening. Curiosity mingled with skepticism as the group hesitated, unsure of how to respond. The boy stepped closer, his thin frame almost trembling with urgency. "I saw someone drop it." "It's not safe," he insisted, his voice steady despite the tremor of his hands. The group, now captivated by his intensity, leaned in closer, their interest piqued. They had always dismissed the boy as just another fixture of the streets, someone to overlook in their daily lives. Yet here he was, offering a warning that could change everything. The vibrant sounds of the market faded into the background, and the world around them shrank to just this moment, this boy and his plea. As the sun continued its descent, casting long shadows over the pavement, A sense of camaraderie began to form among the teens. They exchanged glances, weighing the risk of ignoring the boys' warning against their initial hunger. The air was thick with anticipation, and the street boy's eyes flickered with a mixture of fear and hope. In a world where survival often meant looking out for oneself, he had chosen to speak up, risking his own safety to protect strangers. It was a moment that transcended their differences, a reminder that even in the most unlikely circumstances, one voice could resonate with power. Finally, one of the teens, a girl with bright eyes and a kind smile, broke the silence. "Thank you for telling us," she said softly, her voice cutting through the tension. The others nodded in agreement, their relief palpable as they pushed the bowl away. The street boy's expression softened, a flicker of gratitude crossing his face. The evening continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. The laughter returned, but it was now laced with a newfound respect for the boy who had dared to intervene. In that bustling street, under the fading light, a connection was forged, a reminder that sometimes the most unexpected voices hold the greatest wisdom. Join our vibrant community today and unlock a world of inspiration and knowledge. By subscribing, you'll gain access to exclusive content that empowers you to grow and connect with like-minded individuals. Share your thoughts in the comments to spark discussions that ignite ideas and foster collaboration. Together, we can create a supportive space where everyone thrives. Don't miss out on the journey ahead. The sun was setting over the bustling streets of downtown, casting long shadows that danced across the pavement. In the midst of this urban tapestry, a small crowd had gathered around a makeshift food stall, where the tantalizing aroma of fried snacks wafted through the air. Laughter and chatter filled the scene, as locals eagerly awaited their turn to indulge in the culinary delights. However, the atmosphere shifted dramatically when a street boy no older than 10 burst through the throng, his eyes wide with urgency. "Don't eat that." The crowd fell silent, curiosity and concern etched on their faces. Who was this boy, and why was he warning them? His clothes were tattered, and his cheeks were smudged with dirt, but there was an undeniable intensity in his gaze that commanded attention. As he approached the food stall, the vendor, a burly man with a bushy beard, looked taken aback. "What's the matter with you, kid? You're ruining my business. I saw a rat scurry through the food. You can't eat that." The vendor scoffed, dismissing the boy's claims, but the murmurs of the crowd grew louder, filled with disbelief and concern. This moment was significant, not just for the immediate danger it posed, but for the broader implications it carried. In a world where the voices of the marginalized often go unheard, the street boy's outburst became a rallying cry for the community. It was a stark reminder of the unseen dangers lurking in everyday life, particularly in urban environments where food safety is often compromised. The crowd, initially drawn to the food by its enticing aroma, now found themselves grappling with the reality of their choices. The boy's warning transformed the scene from one of indulgence to a moment of reflection, urging everyone to reconsider what they were willing to consume. As the crowd began to disperse, some people turned their attention to the boy, their expressions shifting from skepticism to sympathy. They started to ask him questions, eager to understand his perspective. "How did you know?" The boy recounted a story of survival, explaining how he had learned to navigate the streets and recognize the signs of danger. His knowledge, born from experience, was a testament to the resilience of those who often live on the fringes of society. This moment of connection between the boy and the crowd underscored the importance of listening to those who may have a different vantage point, reminding everyone that wisdom can come from unexpected places. The vendor, realizing the gravity of the situation, reluctantly began to discard the tainted food, his initial anger giving way to embarrassment. The crowd, now united by a shared experience, began to discuss the importance of food safety and the need for better regulations in their community. The boy, once an invisible figure in the background, had suddenly become a catalyst for change, prompting conversations that could lead to action. His voice, once dismissed, had sparked a movement that could potentially reshape their approach to food and health. In the end, the street boy's warning served as a powerful reminder of the interconnectedness of community and the importance of vigilance. It illustrated that even the smallest voice can have a significant impact, urging everyone to be more aware of their surroundings and the choices they make. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the crowd dispersed, not just with empty stomachs, but with a newfound sense of responsibility and a commitment to looking out for one another. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Casting long shadows across the bustling streets of a city gripped by economic turmoil, a group of children scavenged for food among the remnants of a recent street fair. The air was thick with the scent of fried dough and roasted meats, tempting even the most disciplined. Suddenly, a street boy named Amir, his face smeared with dirt and hunger, shouted, "Don't eat that!" His voice cut through the laughter and chatter of the crowd, drawing startled glances. In an instant, the atmosphere shifted. People paused, their curiosity piqued. What could possibly be wrong with the food that had been prepared just hours earlier? This moment of alarm was a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in everyday choices, especially for those living on the edge of survival. Amir had witnessed something no one else had. A vendor hastily tossing out spoiled ingredients into the trash, a detail overlooked by the busy crowd. With food insecurity affecting nearly 10% of the population and rising, the urgency of Amir's warning resonated deeply. Children like him, often invisible to the bustling adults, were the first to notice the subtle signs of danger. Yet, their voices went unheard, drowned out by the noise of a society more focused on convenience than safety. This incident highlighted a critical knowledge gap, the lack of awareness surrounding food safety and the importance of heeding warnings from those who live in the margins. As the crowd began to murmur, some dismissing Amir as just another street kid, others began to reconsider their choices. The reality was stark. Many families were one meal away from crisis, and in their desperation they might overlook the basics of food safety. The statistics were alarming. Foodborne illnesses affected millions each year, with vulnerable populations like children and the elderly at the highest risk. Amir's shout was not merely a plea for attention, it was a call to action, urging everyone to recognize the importance of vigilance in their daily lives. The moment served as a reminder that understanding the sources of our food and the potential hazards associated with it could mean the difference between health and illness. In the ensuing chaos, a woman stepped forward, her brow furrowed with concern. She had a child of her own, and Amir's warning struck a chord. "What do you mean?" Amir, sensing the gravity of the situation, explained how he had seen the vendor's negligence. This exchange ignited a conversation among the crowd, transforming a moment of panic into an opportunity for education. People began to share their own experiences, revealing a collective ignorance about food safety practices. The incident became a catalyst for change, as discussions about the importance of understanding food sources and safety protocols spread like wildfire through the community. The urgency of Amir's warning reverberated beyond that street corner, highlighting a pressing need for awareness and education regarding food safety. In a world where convenience often trumps caution, understanding the implications of our choices is more critical than ever. As the crowd dispersed, Amir felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps, just perhaps, his voice had made a difference. In that fleeting moment, he understood that knowledge could empower not just individuals, but entire communities, bridging the gap between safety and risk in a world that often overlooks the vulnerable. In the heart of a bustling city, where the cacophony of life intertwines with the struggles of its inhabitants, a seemingly innocuous moment unfolded that would ripple through the lives of many. A street boy, his clothes tattered and face smudged with the remnants of a long day, stood on the corner of a busy intersection. His eyes, sharp and observant, were fixed on a group of people gathered around a food cart, their laughter and chatter echoing in the air. As they reached for a particularly enticing dish, the boy's voice rang out, cutting through the noise with an urgency that caught everyone off guard. "Don't eat that!" The crowd paused, their hands hovering over the food, puzzled by the boy's sudden outburst. Curiosity mixed with skepticism as they turned to him, questioning the validity of his claim. What could a street boy, often overlooked and marginalized, possibly know about the food they were about to consume? Yet, in that moment, the gravity of his words hung in the air, compelling them to reconsider their actions. The boy's plea was not merely a cry for attention, it was a reflection of his lived experiences, a testament to the harsh realities that often went unnoticed in the vibrant tapestry of city life. As murmurs spread through the crowd, the vendor, a burly man with a jovial demeanor, looked momentarily taken aback. He had served countless customers without incident, and the boy's accusation felt like an unwarranted attack on his livelihood. Yet, as he glanced at the street boy, he saw something in his eyes, an earnestness that hinted at deeper truths. The vendor's mind raced, recalling the whispers he had heard about food safety and the risks of neglecting proper hygiene. The moment hung in balance. The boy's warning had ignited a spark of doubt that could not be easily extinguished. People began to step back, unsure of what to believe. Some murmured about the boy's credibility, while others felt a pang of empathy, recognizing the struggles he faced daily. In a world where voices like his were often drowned out, this was a moment of empowerment. The boy, despite his circumstances, had seized the opportunity to speak out, challenging the status quo and urging others to think critically about their choices. This was not just about food, it was about awareness, responsibility, and the importance of listening to those who often go unheard. As the crowd deliberated, a woman stepped forward, her brow furrowed in concern. She had a background in health and safety, and she recalled similar instances where food contamination had led to serious health issues. Her voice, steady and authoritative, reinforced the boy's warning. "We should check with the vendor about the ingredients and how the food is prepared," she suggested, advocating for caution. The crowd, now galvanized by a sense of community and shared responsibility, began to engage in conversation, questioning and seeking clarity. In that pivotal moment, the street boy transformed from a mere observer to a catalyst for change. His shout had ignited a dialogue about safety and awareness, bridging the gap between societal hierarchies. The crowd, once indifferent to his plight, now recognized the value of his insight. What began as a simple warning evolved into a collective moment of reflection, illustrating how voices from the margins could challenge assumptions and inspire action. Ultimately, it was a reminder that every individual, regardless of their status, holds the power to influence and provoke thought in a world that often overlooks the very fabric of its society. In a bustling city where the sound of traffic mingled with the chatter of pedestrians, a street boy named Sam found himself at the heart of an unexpected moment. As he watched a group of children about to indulge in a seemingly harmless snack, he shouted, "Don't eat that!" His voice cut through the noise, drawing attention not just to himself, but to the potential danger lurking in what appeared to be a simple bag of chips. This incident became a catalyst for change, illustrating how one voice can spark awareness and action in a community. Sam's shout was not merely a warning. It was a call to examine the broader issue of food safety and awareness. To understand the impact of this moment, it's essential to consider the methodology behind community engagement. Sam, with his unique perspective as a street boy, had first-hand experience with food insecurity and the risks associated with consuming questionable food. His insights could be harnessed to educate others about food safety, empowering them to make informed choices. For instance, organizing workshops in community centers where individuals like Sam could share their experiences would create a platform for dialogue about food sourcing and safety. The aftermath of Sam's intervention revealed the importance of immediate action. After his warning, the children hesitated, and their parents, curious about the commotion, approached. This moment highlighted the need for clear communication about food safety. Community leaders could develop simple, actionable guidelines for families on how to identify safe food options. For example, distributing pamphlets that outline signs of spoiled food or unsafe handling practices could significantly reduce the risk of foodborne illnesses. These materials could be made available in local markets and schools, ensuring that the information reaches those who need it most. Moreover, Sam's story could serve as a case study for local organizations looking to implement outreach programs. By documenting the incident and its outcomes, they could analyze the effectiveness of community alerts and education campaigns. Gathering data on how many families changed their eating habits after the incident would provide measurable insights into the impact of awareness initiatives. For instance, surveys conducted in the weeks following the event could reveal shifts in purchasing behavior or increased discussions about food safety among parents. In addition to education, creating a support network for street children like Sam can amplify their voices. Establishing mentorship programs where these children are paired with local leaders can foster a sense of belonging and purpose. This network could facilitate regular meetings where street children discuss their experiences and suggest improvements for community safety and health. By valuing their input, communities can create a more inclusive environment that prioritizes the well-being of all members. Ultimately, Sam's shout was more than a warning. It was a pivotal moment that underscored the need for community engagement and education. By harnessing the power of individual experiences and transforming them into actionable insights, Communities can enhance food safety awareness and empower their members. Through workshops, clear communication, and support networks, the ripple effect of that single shout can lead to a healthier, more informed community. As Sam's story illustrates, every voice matters, and every action can lead to significant change. In a bustling city where the clamor of everyday life often drowns out the voices of the marginalized, a street boy's urgent shout pierced through the noise. "Don't eat that." This unexpected warning sent ripples through the crowd, igniting a moment of curiosity and concern. It was a stark reminder of how often we overlook the insights of those who live on the fringes of society. The boy, with his weathered face and piercing gaze, had witnessed things that most of us could only imagine. His warning wasn't just a plea for attention, it was a call for awareness about the unseen dangers lurking in our urban environments. As the crowd paused, their initial skepticism began to transform into a collective intrigue. What lay behind his warning? Was it a simple plea for help, or did he possess knowledge that could alter the course of the day? This moment encapsulated the essence of community dynamics, where the unlikeliest of voices can hold the key to vital information. Research shows that marginalized individuals often develop acute survival skills honed by necessity. They become attuned to their surroundings, recognizing patterns and potential threats that others might miss. This boy's insight could very well be a reflection of those skills, urging the crowd to reconsider their assumptions about safety and trust. As the tension built, the crowd's curiosity morphed into action. A few brave souls approached the boy, eager to understand his perspective. This interaction exemplified a crucial strategy in community engagement, fostering dialogue. By creating a space where voices from all walks of life are heard, we cultivate a richer understanding of our shared environment. Experts in social dynamics emphasize that such exchanges not only empower the marginalized, but also enhance collective resilience. The boy's warning served as a catalyst, prompting discussions about food safety, urban living conditions, and the importance of listening to those who often go unheard. In the end, the crowd learned that the food in question was not just unappetizing, it posed a real health risk. The boy's knowledge, born from experience, had the power to avert potential harm. This incident became a turning point, illustrating that wisdom often resides in unexpected places. As the crowd dispersed, they carried with them a newfound respect for the insights of those they had previously overlooked. The boy's voice had not only sparked awareness, but had also ignited a broader conversation about the need for inclusivity and empathy in urban spaces. Ultimately, this narrative serves as a reminder of the importance of listening to the street boy, to our neighbors, and to the stories that shape our communities. By embracing diverse perspectives, we can cultivate a more informed and compassionate society, one where every voice has the potential to make a difference. The unexpected shout of a street boy became a powerful lesson in the value of engagement and awareness, urging us all to look beyond the surface and recognize the wisdom that lies within our shared humanity. In bustling urban environments, the presence of street children often goes unnoticed, yet their voices can resonate with wisdom born from experience. One such instance unfolded when a street boy amidst the chaos of a city market shouted, "Don't eat that." This seemingly innocuous warning would soon reveal layers of complexity, highlighting the often overlooked insights that street children possess about their surroundings. Research has shown that children living on the streets develop acute survival skills, which include an understanding of local food safety risks. According to a study published in the Journal of Urban Health, street children often become adept at identifying spoiled or contaminated food, a skill that can be crucial for their survival. Miller et al. The boy's warning likely stemmed from a past experience, perhaps witnessing a fellow street dweller fall ill after consuming something unsafe. This phenomenon is not uncommon. Street children frequently share knowledge about food safety among themselves. A report by UNICEF indicates that these children often form tight-knit communities where information flows freely and survival strategies are shared. UNICEF 2021. Thus, the boy's shout was not merely a random act, but a protective instinct shaped by his environment, a testament to the resilience and resourcefulness that street children embody. As the crowd paused, intrigued by the boy's outburst, the atmosphere shifted. The warning sparked a conversation among onlookers about food safety and the hidden dangers of street food. This moment reflects a broader societal tendency to overlook the insights of marginalized individuals. The World Bank emphasizes the importance of inclusive dialogues that incorporate the perspectives of all community members, particularly those from disadvantaged backgrounds. World Bank 2020. In this case, the street boy's voice became a catalyst for awareness, prompting people to reconsider their choices and the potential risks associated with consuming food from unregulated sources. Moreover, the boy's intervention highlights a critical issue: the vulnerability of street food vendors and the lack of regulatory oversight they face. Many street vendors operate in precarious conditions, often without access to proper hygiene facilities or food safety training. A study by the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, notes that while street food can provide affordable and accessible nutrition, it also poses significant health risks if not prepared or stored correctly. FAO 2018. The boy's warning served as a reminder of these risks, urging consumers to be more discerning and aware of their food sources. As the crowd deliberated, some began to reconsider their choices, while others expressed skepticism about the boy's authority to speak on such matters. This reaction underscores a common societal bias that often dismisses the knowledge of those living in poverty. However, experts argue that recognizing and valuing the lived experiences of marginalized individuals can lead to more effective community health strategies. A study from the American Public Health Association advocates for participatory approaches that elevate the voices of those directly affected by health issues, fostering a more inclusive and informed community dialogue. APHA 2022. In the end, the street boy's warning did more than just prevent a potential health crisis. It ignited a conversation about food safety, community knowledge, and the importance of listening to those often ignored. His voice, a powerful reminder of the insights that can emerge from the most unexpected places, resonated long after the moment had passed, challenging everyone present to rethink their perceptions of street children and the valuable lessons they can impart. In a bustling urban environment, a seemingly ordinary day took an unexpected turn when a street boy, driven by instinct and a desire to protect, shouted a warning that would resonate far beyond the moment. His urgent cry, "Don't eat that," captured the attention of passers-by and sparked a chain of events that would reveal the complexities of human behavior, compassion, and the often overlooked perspectives of those living on the fringes of society. This incident unfolded in a context where the disparity between the privileged and the marginalized was starkly evident, highlighting the boy's acute awareness of danger that many others failed to recognize. As the crowd paused, curiosity mixed with skepticism. The street boy's warning was met with varied reactions. Some dismissed him as just another voice in the chaos of city life, while others were intrigued by the urgency in his tone. This moment became a microcosm of societal dynamics, reflecting how often the insights of those deemed less significant can be overlooked. The boy's life experiences had equipped him with a unique understanding of the risks that lurked in everyday situations, a perspective that contrasted sharply with the oblivion of those around him. The tension in the air grew as people began to question what lay beneath the surface of his warning, leading them to reconsider their assumptions about safety and vulnerability. As the situation unfolded, it became evident that the street boy's warning was not merely a reactionary outburst, but a profound statement about awareness and the interconnectedness of human experiences. His position as an outsider allowed him to perceive threats that others caught in their routines might ignore. This pivotal moment served as a catalyst for reflection among the onlookers, prompting them to confront their own biases and the societal structures that often render the voices of the marginalized inaudible. The crowd's collective consciousness began to shift, recognizing the importance of empathy and the value of listening to those who have been silenced. In the climax of this narrative, the implications of the boy's warning became undeniably clear. The revelation that followed his shout not only validated his instincts, but also illuminated the broader themes of community responsibility and the necessity of vigilance in a world where danger can often be cloaked in the mundane. The crowd, once skeptical, found themselves united in a moment of shared understanding, driven by the boy's courage to speak out. This incident served as a reminder that meaningful change often begins with a single voice willing to challenge the status quo, urging others to pay attention and act. As we approach the final resolution of this compelling tale, the audience is left to ponder the lasting impact of that singular moment. The street boy's warning transcended its immediate context, igniting a dialogue about awareness, compassion, and the importance of recognizing the wisdom that can emerge from unexpected sources. In a world where the lines between privilege and hardship often blur, this story invites us to embrace the lessons learned and to remain vigilant, not just for ourselves, but for those whose voices may go unheard. The resolution promises to tie together these insights, offering a powerful conclusion that reinforces the significance of community, empathy, and the courage to listen. In a bustling city, a moment unfolded that would challenge perceptions and spark a movement. A street boy, often overlooked and marginalized, shouted a warning to a passerby about food that appeared to be spoiled. This unexpected intervention not only drew attention to the boy's acute awareness of his surroundings, but also highlighted the broader issue of food waste and the plight of those living on the streets. The incident ignited conversations among bystanders who began to reconsider their views on homelessness and the importance of community engagement. It served as a poignant reminder that even the most marginalized voices can hold significant wisdom and insight. To address the underlying issues revealed by this incident, a multifaceted approach is essential. First, community outreach initiatives should be developed, focusing on education about food waste and its impact on both the environment and vulnerable populations. Workshops can be organized in collaboration with local organizations to teach citizens about food preservation, the importance of sharing excess food, and how to identify safe food options. By engaging the community in these discussions, we can foster a culture of awareness and responsibility, encouraging individuals to think critically about their consumption habits and the implications of their choices. Furthermore, partnerships with local businesses can be instrumental in creating a sustainable food-sharing network. Restaurants and grocery stores can be encouraged to donate surplus food to shelters and food banks rather than discarding it. This would not only reduce waste, but also provide essential nourishment to those in need. Establishing a mobile app or platform that connects food donors with local charities can streamline this process, making it easier for businesses and individuals to contribute to the cause. This collaborative effort can lead to a significant reduction in food waste, while simultaneously addressing hunger in the community. The expected outcomes of these strategies are multifaceted. By raising awareness and fostering community involvement, we can create a more compassionate society that values every individual's contribution, regardless of their circumstances. The educational initiatives will empower citizens to make informed choices about food consumption and waste, leading to a more sustainable lifestyle. Additionally, the establishment of a food-sharing network will not only provide immediate relief to those in need, but also build a sense of solidarity among community members. As people come together to support one another, the stigma surrounding homelessness can begin to dissipate, paving the way for more inclusive and supportive environments. In conclusion, the incident initiated by the street boy's warning serves as a catalyst for change, urging us to reevaluate our relationship with food and those who are often invisible in our society. It is imperative that we take action by implementing educational outreach, fostering partnerships with local businesses, and creating a sustainable food-sharing network. Each of us has a role to play in this endeavor, and by coming together, we can transform our communities into places of empathy and support. Let us not overlook the wisdom of those who experience hardship. Instead, let us listen, learn, and act decisively to create a brighter future for all. In the unfolding narrative of when a street boy shouted, "Don't eat that," no one expected what would happen next, we are drawn into a vivid tableau that encapsulates the complexities of human interaction, societal norms, and the power of unexpected voices. The street boy, often overlooked and dismissed, becomes an unlikely protagonist whose warning serves as a catalyst for change. His shout is not merely a plea, it echoes the deeper realities of those who navigate the fringes of society, often bearing witness to dangers that remain hidden from the mainstream. This moment compels us to consider the who, what, when, where, why, and how of our interactions with one another. The boy's voice becomes a pivotal who, challenging the assumptions of those around him. The what unfolds as a life-altering moment, revealing the potential consequences of ignorance or indifference. The when is immediate, occurring in a flash of insight that disrupts the mundane. The where is a street corner, a microcosm of society where lives intersect. And the why speaks to the urgency of awareness and the moral obligation to heed warnings, even from those we might overlook. Finally, the how reveals the intricate web of relationships and social structures that shape our responses to one another. As the narrative progresses, it becomes clear that this incident is not just about a warning. It is a profound reminder of the interconnectedness of our lives. The reactions of the onlookers reflect a spectrum of emotions: surprise, skepticism, and ultimately a shift towards empathy. This collective response highlights the transformative power of a single voice, urging us to reconsider our perceptions and biases. It prompts us to acknowledge the wisdom that can emerge from unexpected places, challenging the status quo and inviting us to engage with the world around us in a more meaningful way. The street boy's intervention becomes a beacon of hope, illustrating that change can arise from the most unlikely sources. It is a call to action for all of us to listen more intently, to recognize the potential for insight in every individual, and to embrace the moments that challenge our assumptions. In reflecting on this poignant tale, we are reminded that our lives are woven together by the threads of shared experiences and mutual understanding. The power of a single voice can ripple through a community, igniting awareness and fostering connection. As we navigate our own journeys, let us carry forward the lesson that every person has a story worth hearing, and every warning has the potential to save a life. In a world often characterized by division and misunderstanding, it is the moments of genuine connection and empathy that can lead to profound transformation. Embracing this ethos allows us to contribute to a more compassionate society, where we uplift one another and recognize the inherent value in every voice. Ultimately, it is through these connections that we can create a brighter future, one where we all listen, learn, and grow together.